In this video, we're going to go over Walmart Spark. We're going to be talking about tips and tricks and some of the things that we can do to maybe make our experience a lot easier, faster, and make more money. So we're going to go over that and much more. So let's get started. And in my opinion, it starts out with the very first start of the day. When are you going to get started? I really like this little hourly bar chart where it shows like the popular times of the day that they're actually expecting a high quantity of orders. And in this example, it looks like 6 and 7 a.m. is pretty good, which is a great start of the day. For me, I don't want to say I'm just a morning person, but you know what? At 6 a.m., I will be out there because that's usually when my Walmarts are opening up anyways. So I'm going to be getting those hot, fresh orders as soon as they are open and ready. Now, I know there's going to be somebody thinking, I am not a morning person. Hey, if you're not a morning person, you can test and tinker about any other time of the day, whether it's that 10, 11 o'clock, 12, or even the evening time. Because all of these times can vary. It's not like this little graph right here is going to be like the end all be all of your entire shift. It's kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean where he says it's more like guidelines, really. This is just a small little tool that can just help us out. Whether you're a full-time or part-time gig worker, you can use these things for your advantage. Let's just say in the mornings it's going really well for you doing Walmart Spark and you just get your first $100 in the morning, and if lunchtime doesn't do too well with Spark, you can go ahead with DoorDash, Uber Eats, or maybe you can do Spark just about all day long and just use these other apps as filler apps as you need. So whatever your circumstance is, so you can make it work in your favor. But I would say besides just hitting that right time of the day, you also need to make sure that you're actually going through your app and seeing what is the best offer for you. This is where it all starts right here. This is going to just be phase 2 for you to have a profitable shift. So let's start off strong and try to find the right offer. Now, let's say if you're there in that Waxahachie where it's $24.66, 2.9 miles, 54 minutes. Possibly that could work out for you pretty well because that right there is definitely guaranteeing you $24.66 within an hour, depending on how you shop this thing. Now, if you're generally a little bit slower in the shopping process, or you just know the overall process is going to take you an extra 10 to 15 minutes, well, then you're going to know or have an idea this is going to take you a little bit over an hour. You might need to even possibly move on, especially depending on how many items you're picking up. And for 54 minutes, there's going to be some products on here. But then you have, let's say if you're in Cedar Hill, you have $11 offer, 1.7 miles, 13 minutes. This is only going to be 2 stops and 1 drop off. I probably wouldn't want to start my day off with something like this, but this could be a possible offer that can really knock out super quick. But you also got to stop and think a minute. What is my ultimate goal? How much do I want to make per hour? Some people might say $20 an hour, depending on your market. And if it's even possible to even make $25 or even $30 an hour, then you're going to be looking for those bigger orders. So that's another good thing, is knowing how much are you going to be trying to make per hour and trying to sticking with that and finding those right offers that's going to help you meet that goal. So you might want to just keep on fishing for other offers. Now, let's look at an offer that I received, and I did take it. Let's analyze this thing. This is $24.15 for 6.4 miles. So let's go ahead and stop right there. Does this meet $2 plus per mile or $1.70 per mile? And if it's kind of slowish, even $1.50 per mile. It definitely meets that. Actually, over 3 times that. So we know the money and miles ratio is great. Then we want to look at the time, the minutes. It's quoted for 36 minutes, and making nearly $25 an hour in less than an hour is all day wonderful, because not only can I actually make that much, but I can already get myself set up for another $20 offer within that same hour and really start my day cooking off real good. And when you can actually start stacking and multiplying these offers, you're going to set yourself up for an incredible day. But let's not stop right there with this offer. Let's look more into this thing, because we're going to be looking at, hey, there's going to be 2 stops, which is including this Walmart. Then I'm going to the customer, and there's going to be 10 different items on to pick this thing up with a 29 quantity. So there's going to be some multiples within these items, and that's okay. This is why you can probably knock this out maybe in that 36 minutes. However, it's good to know your own shopping tendencies. How long does it usually take you to actually shop? Then the checkout process. Then you have taking it to the car and then delivering. Does the whole process usually take you about that 36 minutes or whatever X amount of time that they're saying, or are you usually another 5 or 10 or extra minutes? So calculate that extra 5-10 minutes if you are that type of shopper, because that's usually me. The time that he usually gives me is not accurate towards how I guess I'm shopping and delivering in the whole process. But if you know that for your advantage and not for your weakness, so you'll know what type of offers that you need to take to stay at the hourly rate that you're wanting to be at. And maybe shopping might not be for you. Maybe you want to do curbside pickup, because maybe those offers where you don't have to shop, but you can just go ahead and get those orders and just all you gotta do is deliver it. Or maybe you would want to even like do package delivery where you're just going to pick up just one time. You can get it all fixed up really good and nice in your trunk or just wherever at in your car, and just deliver it item by item, house by house, and you're good. All you gotta do is just keep the thing a-rolling, keep this thing a-moving, and find out what works best for you. And if you can put all 3 of these to work where you're actually pretty decent at all of them, you can really strengthen yourself just that much more by using all that Walmart has for us combined. But you know what? Let's go back to the shopping orders, because when we get and we can see all the items that's on our list, because there might be some products that might be on the other side of Walmart, or you might not even start at the food section. Maybe you're over there with the toys and the hygiene products. Maybe you're in the automotive. I usually like to start with those items first before I even get to the food, because more likely I'm going to have some perishables or something like that. And those are going to be timed. So anything that's time sensitive, temperature sensitive, I'm going to make sure I'm going to leave that furthest to the back as I can. And I'm going to start on that other side of Walmart if I even have any products to get over there. And if I don't, great. If it's just food, awesome. And hopefully I can get this strategized in a way where I can pick up these items as quickly as possible, so I can just be in and out. But even when we are shopping, sometimes we might not be just shopping just for one customer. Sometimes it might be shopper A and shopper B. But so you want to really make sure you're separating everything in your basket from the very start to the very end, not getting anything mixed up. You don't want to just throw all of it in your basket and separate it out later. No, if you just start from the beginning, you're going to make life a whole lot easier as you go. I even got a compliment one time from one of the store employees that this is like the most organized basket I've ever seen. I'm like, well, thank you. Because that's how I roll. Because I cannot have even organized chaos inside my basket. Because if I do, I can get knocked off pretty quick. So make sure, organize as you go from customer A to customer B. Here is another thought, and maybe even a tip as well, that would even be good to throw in to know. Now, when you do have like a clear aisle, okay, it's good and great. Take your basket in. But if you ever get like an aisle where feel like you got everybody and their brother and their mother and sister, they got their whole entire family down that aisle, it might be good just to leave your basket on the side and just walk down there and go get the product and bring it back to your basket. This will be a huge time saver, because you don't want to be just going and running into folks and be like, oh, excuse me. That's a waste of time. So be sure to save as much time as possible going down there through the crowd and getting it and come back to your cart. And another awesome thing on the Spark app, we have the aisles, the section, and the modular. Probably butcher that word. And if you need help, you can, where it says hide map, you can go ahead and look at your map and help find your way through the store. If there's an item or product, you're like, where in the world is this daggum thing? Where in the world is APA at? But the better you get familiar with your store, the better you'll be. And sometimes it can be a process. But when you do find that aisle, then you want to look at the sections, like section 5. Depending on which end of the aisle that you're on, section 5, all you gotta do is count the 3-foot sections. And what's so awesome, most of these Walmarts I've been to have been numbered. So on the very top of the riser area or the top shelf, and you just go to that section 5. But let's go ahead and do a little sneak peek of me in action and getting these products. Aisle 21, section 12, module 11. Bam. And I can just stop right there. You see right there where the module 11, right there on the sticker. Because with this one, all I was doing with these chips was A21, section 12, module 11. It's as easy as that. Module 11. Bam. Found it. And of course, when you scan the products right there, this goes to directly saying like 1 of 2. So that means you need to pick up 2 of them. So you're going to also type in 2 and confirm it, and then also move on. Aisle 30, section 8, module 10. Bam. There she is. Let's get 4. The banana. Now here we go with bananas. So when we're doing like fruits or vegetables like that, so we're going to see that we need 4 quantity, and we're also going to have to put this on a scale and scan this thing. So let's watch. And that's how you're going to be doing all these fruits and vegetables and finding one of those digital scales so you can scan it. I'm so glad that they have multiple ones in the area. If not, it would have been a headache. So that is actually a really good insight of actually finding these products and finding the actual modular, so you actually know where you can find that little number in the corner. But then there's going to be some Walmarts that are really fancy, and they may have this right here, which is the flash feature that they have. And you see right there in that top right hand corner where it actually will blink red or just blink at you. But first you got to go like a small little process, because whenever you're right there on your app and you see the little feature on the right side, so when you select your product and you see aisle A3, section 2, modular 3, and you're like, okay, I'm still not seeing this. So you tap the top right side where it says flash. And if all systems are working okay, it'll start blinking at you and you'll be like, oh, okay, there it is. Now, I just wish I had this in my market. Now, I'm in the Dallas market. I've been to several different locations. I haven't seen anything like this. I would love to see this feature. So if you have this in your market, let me know in the comment box. Say, hey, I'm one of the lucky ones. But I can definitely see this flash finder could be a huge assistance. But let's say that you got everything and you're about ready to go. It's about time to check out. Now let's watch me in action of the checkout process. Right now we got all the items. Now it's time to go check out for customer A and B. All right, now we're here at the register. All we gotta do is get this barcode, scan it right here. Bam. Now it's gonna get reviewed by an associate.
A few moments later.
Now that she's just scanned 3 items, now all we have to do is done checkout, and now bag the items. All bagged up and we're ready to go. So we got it all bagged up and now we're ready to go. So one of the best things I do is actually optimize my route. I'm making sure I have the best route possible, because then you're going to have to think about what's going to be like the less miles and the least amount of time, because there's going to be some instances where there might be less time versus the less mileages. Which one are you going to choose? Hopefully you're going to pick time, because time is money. But if you want to save that extra half a mile and you're going to actually sacrifice maybe a minute or so, that might be a little bit questionable. But I know for me, I want to make sure I'm going to be right back into the game as quickly as possible so I can get another offer. Then when I get to that drop off, of course, it might be something I can probably easily carry. And hey, that's good and great and make it even quicker. But maybe I'm going to have some sodas or some waters where I'm want to or need to have like a wagon or something. And check out my description down below where I got my own wagon from Amazon and how much this has been a huge time saver for me on multiple deliveries. Because this has been a purchase I'm definitely glad I got. Now you also have to think about, like, how long am I going to be doing gig work? How long am I actually going to do Spark for? Because if you're going to be kind of in this thing for 6 months, a year or so, definitely enough to put it on your taxes, you definitely want to keep up with your mileages and all your expenses. Now, you can do like how I did in the very beginning and just wrote down everything, or you can do what I'm doing right now is actually putting it on an app. And I use the Solo app. So you can also check that below where you can track all your mileages, expenses, and so much more. You'll get a 7-day free trial. So there is like no reason why not to even try it. And even if you do decide to get a subscription, you get $10 off by using my link. And who don't like a discount? So I hope you found value out of this video. So if you would, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and see me in the next video.